And a lot of us are mad at people or frustrated with people because they're crossing lines that they literally didn't even know were drawn. Like, you can't be upset with people about boundaries you did not communicate. And if you don't know where your own lines are, how can you communicate them to someone else? This is the In Your Favor podcast, where I share lessons I've learned on my walk with Christ to help you navigate yours. Listen, we may not always get it right, and we won't always have the answers, but trust it's working in your favor. Hey guys, and welcome back to the In Your Favor podcast. I am your host, Amanda, and I'm so excited that you have joined me, y'all, for the season finale. Crazy. That is actually crazy to say out loud. Like, what? I feel like I literally just started this thing. It's been such a journey, and it has been a fun one. I've learned so much. I've learned a lot, okay? A lot. But it has been full of lessons. I've shared my testimony with y'all. We talked about pride and healing, identity, obedience, truly just trusting and believing God for all that He has promised us. But I really couldn't think of a better way to wrap up all of the conversations that we've been having other than talking about this topic today. And I feel like every week I'm like, this topic, right? I feel like I say that a lot, but this one is just something that is so near and dear to me. If you know me, if we've ever had a conversation, you've probably heard me say this word in a conversation before, because it's something I learned the hard way, but it's also something that I'm still navigating in different seasons. It looks differently, and it's boundaries. Okay. So grab a pen, get comfortable, get your journal, because we are diving in how boundaries are actually truly one of the greatest ways that we can honor God and honor ourselves. I always say, like, boundaries are doors, not walls. And I don't know if I heard that somewhere or if I just created it in my mind, but I've literally been saying it for years of just like, they are not meant to like keep people out. It's truly to let people in, but in the appropriate way, right? It's not about being mean or harsh or anything like that. It's truly meant to keep what's in protected in a way that honors God, but also honors yourself, right? Like, it's not like boundaries are like, you just can't, I don't want you here. It's, I want you here, but this is how I need you to show up, right? And if you don't show up that way, that's cool. You don't have to. You don't have to. I'm going to exit. And more importantly, not even how other people show up, but how you show up. Like, the boundaries that you set for yourself are more for you than they are for anyone else. So I just used to feel like boundaries made me like mean, or like I was doing too much. And so I didn't have any for a long time. I don't want to say I didn't have any, but like, they were flexible. Everything was kind of like, meh, 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 meh. If whatever, it wasn't like no. And the things that I would stand on business about weren't things that I would stand on business about now. They were just very different, but I was a very big people pleaser. And so I was mainly afraid of disappointing people or letting people down or hurting people's feelings, or like, how is this going to make them feel, even if it meant that it was going against something that I felt strongly about. And so what I learned was like, that when you don't have boundaries or you don't stand on your boundaries, you really give people permission to decide things for you. You give people permission to control and really run your life, which is not it at all. Like, we should be honoring God with our lives and doing what the Lord has called us to do, and not just allowing people to steer us and guide us anywhere. Like, we have to know what it is, where our compass is, what it is that we stand for, and how we're going to show up and operate through that, not through other people. I feel like, I hope that makes sense, but like, truly standing on what it is that the Lord has set for you to do, and not walking in chaos, because without boundaries, y'all, it's chaotic. It's chaotic, and we don't like that. The Bible says, let your yes be yes and your no be no. And that really does start with being clear, not clear just with others and how you communicate your boundaries, but being clear and certain about what they even are for you. Like, if you don't know really what your boundaries are, how do you communicate them? How do you tell someone else or instruct someone else something if you don't know yourself. You can't. You literally can't. So it starts with you first. It starts with us looking in the mirror. It starts with us being honest with ourselves. Starts with us being real with ourselves and real with God. And one thing about it is it changes in seasons too, right? Like maybe there are things in this season that you can do or you feel like don't need to be as strong of a boundary, that in another season it's like, no, you need to be in bed by 9 p.m. and the lights need to be off and you need to be asleep. Whereas in another season, maybe you can stay up and you can talk a little bit longer to your friends and kiki for a little bit, you know? But ultimately, boundaries may change depending on your season, but they still need to be upheld. They still need to be honored. And truthfully, if I'm being really transparent, anytime, y'all, I have ever not honored a boundary for myself, I have always paid the price. You know, like I have always paid for it. And there have been so many times where I would say yes to things that I really wanted to say no to. First of all, I didn't want to go and I don't want to do it. And I'm just saying yes for the sake of saying yes, or I'm saying yes because I think that's what you want to hear. But I'm not honoring my time. I'm not honoring my finances. I'm not honoring the assignment that maybe I need to be focused on that the Lord has given me because I am so focused on either your feelings and maintaining a dynamic that may not even be healthy, or I'm afraid of what that no may mean for me to myself, right? Like, what if they're disappointed with me and I don't want to sit in that if someone's disappointed with me? So I'm just going to say yes to things anyway. And it's like, girl, no, no. I've stayed in conversations, I've stayed in spaces and relationships longer than I ever should have. And I ended up hurt or drained or disappointed or depleted because I didn't know how to stand on a no. And if there is nothing else you take from this whole season, like figure out your no's, y'all. Figure out your boundaries and let your yes be yes and your no be no, and stand on the no, even if people are disappointed. And it's okay for people to be disappointed with you. My therapist told me that years ago. Like, it's okay for people to be upset with you. It is okay for people to be disappointed with you, okay? You are not here to make everyone happy all the time. That's not why we're here. So it's okay to sit in the fact that someone may be upset that you can't go to brunch because you're trying to honor your finances. Someone may be upset that you can't sit on the phone and kiki past 10 p.m. because you made a commitment to yourself that you're going to get up and honor your body and you're going to be up at 6 a.m. so you can work out. Like, people may be upset, but that is okay. That is 100% okay. We have to remind ourselves of the boundaries and why we're setting the boundaries, right? Like, no, I'm not just doing this for fun. I'm doing this because I'm trying to achieve something, right? Like I'm trying to honor what the Lord has said, one, but I'm going towards something, and this is the way that I need to do that. And people don't always understand that, and that's okay. But I will say, like, between being a people pleaser and not being firm in my boundaries, it just added so much frustration into my life simply because I could not stand on business. Like, I could not stand on business. And that sounds crazy because if y'all know me, one of the things people say all the time is like, Amanda's quick to be like, I'm out, I'm gone, don't tell me, I don't want to know, don't talk about it, not around me. Like, I'm so quick to just be like, no, now. In a lot of areas of my life, there's still some things, you know, sometimes you catch me at the right moment, I'll be like, all right, fine. But for the most part, like, no, I'm not going. I don't want to go. I'm not doing it. I can't hang. I'm going to bed. I'll call you tomorrow. Like, I have found a way to, one, I've learned, it's not I found a way, I learned because I didn't do it for so long, just to be firm with that no. Like, when you don't honor your own limits, the pain doesn't just go away. Like, over time, that compounds and it feels like this, right? It's just like one thing on top of another, on top of another, on top of another, until you feel like you are crushing and people are just like happy, they're chilling. It doesn't affect them at all. And you are the one who ultimately, like I said, I suffered. I was in pain because of not being able to stand on business in these things. So like every time like you are relaxed with your boundaries, you're saying to yourself, like, my goals aren't important or my peace isn't worth protecting. And it is, right? Like, God's favor doesn't just mean access, it means alignment. And sometimes alignment requires us to say no. Every invitation is not aligned with your goals or your purpose or your plans or your future or your assignment, right? Like, every yes or every invitation is not a yes automatically. Like, even if it's a good thing, even if it's a good invite, or even if it's a good opportunity, like, you have to know what the baseline really is for you in that season, even if it's people you love, even if it's friends, family, people that you genuinely care about. Like, sometimes you have to tell them people no. Like, I can't go, I can't attend. That doesn't work. That is my Bible study time. That is my workout time. Like, being so aware, right? And that goes back to what I said earlier about being clear. You have to know what it is that you are working towards in order for you to be able to set the boundary. So if you don't have that clarity and that vision on where it is you're even going, how are you setting a boundary? Yeah, you don't know your schedule. So yeah, I'm going to say yeah. You don't know your finances. So yeah, you're going to say yeah. And even if you do, sometimes we still say yeah for other reasons, right? Like I said, I was a people pleaser. Like, I was more concerned with people being disappointed in me. And it's like, no, that's not it. You got to get clear, girl. You got to get clear. Okay? Get clear. Step one, get clear. But like I said, you can't communicate what you haven't defined for yourself. And so I always say it starts with us, it starts with me, it starts with Amanda. Like, I have to know what it is that I'm working towards and be clear with that in order to communicate that to somebody else. And a lot of us are mad at people or frustrated with people because they're crossing lines that they literally didn't even know were drawn. Like, you can't be upset with people about boundaries you did not communicate. And if you don't know where your own lines are, how can you communicate them to someone else? Like, it really is this like cycle. Like, you're upset because people are crossing boundaries, but you haven't communicated boundaries. So they keep crossing boundaries and you keep being upset. Like, no, communicate the boundary, understand your boundaries, communicate the boundaries, and know that if it's communicated clearly, most people honestly want to honor your boundaries. If they care about you, and these are people who are in your life, who you're doing life with, they want to honor your boundaries. They want to respect your boundaries. If they don't, they probably are not supposed to be in your life. Like, it will expose, right? Like, but for the most part, people want to honor them, and they're not trying to be rude or disrespectful or anything like that. It's just they don't know because you haven't said anything. Being clear with others really starts with you practicing that same clarity internally, right? Like, again, it starts with us and then we communicate out. Boundaries really just begin in the mirror, and it really requires us, again, to know what those boundaries are and to be clear on them. But some of the ways that I identified, like, what it was that I needed to establish with my boundaries, like, one was a schedule. And if you know me, I'm a neurodivergent girly. And so a schedule is something I have a love and hate relationship with. And so I will make a schedule. I'll follow the schedule for a little bit. And then I'll be like, I don't want to do the schedule anymore. It feels too rigid. I want to like be more spontaneous, and I want to have less structure and like more flexibility in my schedule. And so I'll blow up the schedule, and then I'll create a new schedule, or I'll have no schedule for a little bit, and then I'll just be like winging it. And then I'll be like, my life is falling apart. I need a schedule. So it's like, one of the things I really have learned is that I need some sort of structure. I need some sort of schedule as just a general thing for me. And so from there, everything else can fit into that, right? And that seems so basic. But this wasn't always something that I understood for myself. Like, I genuinely didn't know what I needed to function in a healthy way, or just at like to optimize my day, to optimize my time. But like, general boundaries that I have now that I stand on are my bedtime. If you call me after 9 o'clock, I'm not picking up the phone. If it's an emergency, granted, yes, but you have to communicate that it's an emergency, because after 9 o'clock, I'm not answering. Sorry, that's me time. And when I say bedtime, it's like my social bedtime is 9 p.m. I don't want to be on the phone. I need to wind down from the day. Like, I have talked to people all day. I have done all the things. I've created all the content for everybody else. Like, I want time for me to do whatever it is that I want to do, whether that is actually get myself together and go to bed, or that's lay on the couch and watch TV, or read a book, or get in my word, or go for a walk. I don't care. It's me time. And I have really had to be firm with that boundary. And again, in different seasons, it looks differently. And so there are times where it'll like wax and wane and like ebb and flow. I don't know the words, but like it'll fluctuate. There we go. Wax and wane. Isn't that like moons? It will fluctuate, right? But for the most part, it's 9 p.m. And the people in my life know that. If you text me or call me after 9 p.m., it's going to be a tomorrow thing. I will circle back tomorrow. Like, this is me time. But I had to do that because for a while I was just accessible, right? And it's like, when do I have time to be with myself? When do I have time to figure out where I am, check in with me after a long day? And it's like, if you are accessible to people 24/7, 24 hours a day, you don't have no time. So, no, I'm not answering every text immediately. Every DM does not need to be answered. I do not work in healthcare. I'm not a first responder. Like, I genuinely do not do life saving work. Therefore, it's not an emergency. So I definitely had to set boundaries with my accessibility, my bedtime, because I know that's something that is important to me to have time to wind down. Very general, right? Like, boundaries can show up at work. Maybe it's after 5 o'clock. I log off that computer. I'm not responding to any more emails for the rest of the day. Like, I have to be firm with my boundaries, right? Like, maybe it's I'm not working on the weekends, even though every other coworker is working on the weekends. Like, maybe that is a boundary that you have to define and you have to set for yourself. And bedtime isn't a problem. Like, boundaries are individual, right? These are just what I've had to establish for Amanda. Okay, just for me. Friendship boundaries. This was one that, y'all, I genuinely did not come to really understand how important it was until I went through my divorce. And it was so hard because it's not something that feels natural. When we talk about friendships as adults, I feel, or when we talk about friendships in general, I won't even just say as adults, but when we talk about friendships in general, it's like, oh, like, these are my friends. Like, when you think of your friends, you think about people that you can talk to, confide in, share things with, all the things. But one of the boundaries I had to set was everything is not for everyone, even in your friendships. And this is very hard to come to terms with for a lot of people, but every friend does not need to know everything that's going on in your life. Every friend does not need to know the intricacies, right, of your spiritual walk, of your financial walk, or your relationships, or whatever it is. Like, everything is not for everyone. Everything is not for everyone. And I wish I could just, like, beat that into some of y'all heads, because some of the problems y'all be having is because y'all talk too much. And I'm not saying don't confide in your trusted people, right? I'm not saying don't have those dynamics and those relationships. Like, you need those safe people that you can go to and you can bring things to, but not every person, every friend in your life is graced to walk you through every situation that comes up. And I learned that there were just some friends who I could not talk to about what I was going through, because either their own situations weren't great, or they couldn't understand, or they weren't grounded or rooted in faith, or, like, there were so many other reasons, right? Like, I just learned that it doesn't mean that I don't value the friendship. It doesn't mean that I don't care about you or we aren't as close or anything like that. It just means that you can't help me with this. And that is okay. Okay, that is genuinely okay. Like, I have friends who range in experiences, who range in ages from, like, 50 to, like, 28. Okay, like, I have friends who have had various walks of life, and each one of them, if I took everything to each one of them, I would get a million different perspectives. I would get so many different takes on what the right thing to do is, or what the right advice is. And it's like, no, let me really take it to the Lord to see, who should I be talking to about this thing? What should I be saying? And really allowing God to guide me in those relationships, because sharing the wrong thing with the wrong person can ultimately just put a strain on your relationship. Like, it can make it worse, honestly. And, you know, it's not out of being, like, secretive or, like, anything else, but it's about stewardship, really. And it's like, I know oversharing prematurely can hinder me. First of all, like, I am very sensitive to the opinions of, not fully other people, but, like, I care about what the people close to me say. I care what the people close to me think. And that doesn't mean that their opinion will keep me from doing something, but it may make me think about it longer than God said to. If I tell the wrong person an idea, or a seed, or, a vision, like, maybe that's not the person that I need to share it with. But I don't know that if I don't talk to God about it. And I'm just like, oh, that's my friend, it's fine. No, no, no. I don't need to sow any confusion. I don't need to sow any fear or doubt. Even the most well intended friendships, right, need boundaries. And really require wisdom. It really boils down to being wise with who you share things with and when you share them. So, friendship boundaries, a big one for me. And another one, dating boundaries. In dating, I have set boundaries of like, I'm not playing house. Like, I'm not going to your place. I'm not inviting you to mine. Like, there are certain things and there's certain lines that I've drawn as I've gotten older and as I've matured in my relationship with the Lord to not only protect my safety and my integrity and my values, but to protect my future, right? Like, I don't ever want to put myself in a compromising situation that could have been avoided, especially in like an early courting stage or, anything like that. Like, I don't know you. You don't need to be in my intimate space. Like, you don't need to be in my apartment. I don't need to be at yours, right? Like, there are certain things that I had to learn again the hard way of just being like, this actually doesn't feel good to me. This actually just doesn't align for me. And understanding too, y'all, that boundaries are biblical, right? I'm not saying just set boundaries for the sake of setting boundaries. Like, I'm saying set boundaries because it's biblical. Like, I think it's Dr. Anita Phillips who talks about, even the Garden of Eden, right? That was a boundary. Like, right from the beginning, the Lord set a boundary. Like, the earth has a boundary, right? The waters have boundaries. Like Psalms 104:9 says, God set a boundary that they may not pass when he was talking about the seas. Like, creation has limits, has boundaries. So why do we often feel like it's okay to just not have them or to not stand on them, right? Like, imagine if the ocean was like, I'm not going to obey the boundaries. We would be flooded. And that seems so silly, but I'm just saying, like, boundaries exist for a reason and they're important and they matter. And so I definitely want us to be mindful, right, of our boundaries, to take a moment and like reevaluate our boundaries. Like, do we understand what they are? Are we clear? Have we written them? Have we established them, whether or not on paper or anywhere else, but in our hearts? What are the top 5 boundaries in my life? Like, do you know? Are you clear on them? And I'm not talking about your morals and values. Maybe those are boundaries as well, but like the other things that come up, like, do you know when to say yes and when to say no to certain things, and then taking it to God and being like, God, do these boundaries that I've come up with, like, are they the right ones for this season? Are they the right ones for me right now? I feel like some of them are clear, like boundaries with our phones, right? Like, are you rolling over in the morning and picking up your phone? Like, maybe you need to set a boundary around your screen time. I'm talking to me. Okay, that one was for Amanda because I don't always roll over and pick up my phone, but my screen time, she's been creeping up. Okay, and I'm like, all right, now if y'all don't see me on social for a little bit, it's because I had to set a boundary, right? And so just checking in with ourselves and being honest about where we are is such a big part of all of this, right? I wanted the whole premise of this podcast to be a way for us to draw closer to the Lord, but to really ask the right questions to ourselves, to reflect, to go deeper, to understand ourselves, and that we would begin to just have the right dialogue, to have the right conversations internally, spiritually, with our friendships and our partnerships, in our friend groups and our families. Like, I wanted this to really spark conversation because that was the only way I really learned the lessons, the experiences, the things that I've shared. That's how I learned them, by living it and doing it, maybe not the right way, maybe not the best way, but then having conversations with the people in my lives, having conversations with my family, and being able to say, hey, I don't like how that played out, and this is what I'm doing differently. God, thank you for exposing this to me. Thank you for showing me this in this season. Thank you for helping me see it this way. And I realize that doesn't work. And this is how I need to move going forward. Like, I wanted it to be this, right? And so I'm just so grateful that, as we have this boundaries conversation, that we not only like spark conversation and I hope again, it sparks that conversation, but we begin to see boundaries as, one of just the greatest forms of self-care, one of the greatest forms of love for ourselves and love for the Lord, and like truly honoring what he has given us to steward. Our time is very important. And once time is gone, you don't get it back. Yes, the Lord is the redeemer of time. However, the clock is still ticking. Okay. And so it's not just about like oh, let me get my nails done and let me read a good book or have a nice dinner, take myself out. Like, yes, that self care is important, but none of that matters if you say yes to everyone, you're burnt out, you're exhausted, you don't have peace, your space is chaotic, your mind is cluttered. Like, those things cannot fix having a lack of boundaries. Those things cannot fix not having order. And so it really is like a soul level of care, but it's also wisdom and it's also love, right? And so when you set boundaries, I just want to remind you, you're not being difficult. You are modeling what God has done for us already. You are modeling the creator and you're being intentional and you're saying yes to God. Like, I take you seriously with what you've entrusted me with, not just my time, but my heart, my body, my purpose. Like, I take it seriously what you have given me in this season, in this life, and I want to honor that. And more importantly, I want to protect that by setting the right parameters, setting the right boundaries in place to protect what you believe I'm supposed to be doing and what you have called me to do. People will not protect what they don't believe you value. And so you have to be the one to model it first. They will certainly follow how you show up and what you're doing, but you have to be number one. It starts with you. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, y'all. This season has been so much fun. I'm so, so grateful. I'm really trying not to cry right now because what? This is crazy. My heart is just so full to be able to be in a place to share these experiences with you all, to be able to talk through some of these things, and to hopefully just be able to support you and help you as you navigate your own journey. I do not take it for granted. I'm so grateful to God for just trusting me with this platform and trusting me with you all. So I love you. I love you. I love you. And as always, y'all, we may not always get it right and we won't always have the answers, but trust it is working in your favor. I love you. And until next time.